On this episode, I'm going to be showing you how to change your pull switch light to a push switch light. Stay tuned. Hi friends, welcome back to Fix This House. If you're new to the channel, please consider pressing the subscribe and notification bell so you could always be in tune on DIYs, how-to videos, and product reviews that I do within this channel. So just a quick disclaimer, we are going to be working with electrical components today on this video. My electrical codes and your electrical codes might be different, so always make sure you're always up to date with your current electrical codes and you have the proper permits. Please turn off the power from your circuit breaker before working with any type of electricity, and if you are uncomfortable and unconfident with working with electrical work, please hire a certified, qualified electrician. With that being said, my full disclaimer is in the description down below. Let's get started with today's video. Today's video is actually a special request by one of my subscribers. They wanted to know how to change out their pull switch lighting to a push type like this one, or you can have the lever type, it doesn't matter. So with that being said, let's get to it. So here are all the various tools and materials that we're going to be using for this project. Let me start off. It's very important that you have a voltage detector. I'll leave all this on the description down below. I'll leave quick links so it'll be easier for you to find them. I'm also going to be using this volt claw, very helpful tool to push all the wire inside of the J-box. And I have an insulated screwdriver. I have a single pole switch. This is by BREMERTON. It's a residential type, it's not commercial. Commercial is a little bit more heavy duty. If you want to learn more about different types of versus residential and commercial, I'll leave the video on top here and you can learn more about that one. The wire connectors that I love using are these Wagos 221s. I like using them better than the wire nuts because these are much easier to use. All you got to do is open up the lever, insert your wire there and close it, and it's reusable, very easy to use. We need to have a new light holder. This is gonna be the non-pull switch version. So now you get to choose which J-box you want to use, or electrical box. There are old work and new work types. If you choose the old work, this one you can cut a hole on your drywall and just place this in place. I like using this for switches, but outlets not so much. This one you can just place it anywhere in your drywall and it will clamp into place. The ones that I like to use are these old work with the adjustables and the screws in the inside. If you don't have drywall installed yet, then you're going to be using a new work which has the nails on. I highly suggest you use a deeper type J-box where you can actually insert a lot of wires in there, but always make sure you read the inside so you know how many wires are allowed in each J-box. The two types of wiring we're going to be using today is a 12-2 and a 12-3. 12-2 just means that it has a hot and a neutral and a ground. 12-3, hot red, hot black, neutral, and the ground. Now these are all 12 gauge because it's yellow right here, but you can also use a 14 gauge wire for lighting. So if you have a 20 amp power source, you can't be using a 14 gauge wire. You have to use a 12 gauge or above. In this case, we are going to be using a 12 gauge because it's feeding out of a 20 amp power source or a 20 amp circuit breaker. I hope that makes sense, and leave in the comment section below if you have any questions regarding that. So on this episode, I'm not going to be going over the 2020 NEC codes regarding on how to staple the wiring onto the stud itself, because you can see this mock-up is all over the place and it's just in an open concept so you can see everything. But I'll make a separate video on how to do that and how to properly attach your cable onto the studs and how far the staple should be. But for now, it's just going to be just wiring so that you can have the basic idea of how the wiring goes for this. There is power going through here, so we're going to turn off the power from the circuit breaker. I want to double check everything so that it is nice and de-energized. Okay, so now we can work on this. What we're going to do is we're just going to disconnect everything. Take out the neutrals, take out the hot, take out the ground. We're going to leave the ground wire connected onto the light bar. We're going to take out the pull switch. We're going to replace it with the new system. So for this mock-up, I'm going to start wiring this outside of the J-box. In reality, you have to put this inside the J-box, but for this instructional purpose only, so you can see everything and it's not so cluttered in there, I'm going to be wiring it outside. What I told you earlier, I am going to be using the old work adjustable because this one is a lot stronger, a lot more secure when you put it onto the stud, but you can also use the new work if you have exposed studs like this one. Okay. I'm going to be running this 12-3 So that's going to be the hot red, the hot black, the neutral, and the ground. I'm going to be connecting it. I'm going to be running it inside of the light J box and to the switch J box. I know I mentioned earlier I wasn't going to talk NEC code 2020 with you guys regarding how to staple the wires, but this is just an easy tip that if you are going to be fishing the wires inside of a drywall, you don't need to apply staples. I have a 12-2 power source right here with 12-2 ground wire. And this is where the power source is coming from, a 20 amp breaker or a 20 amp power source. This is a 12-3 wire. Before we go into the switch, let's go and wire up the wiring inside of the light J box. Arrange them accordingly so that it's nice and neat. Don't just go and crisscross them like a spaghetti style, because if you do that, it's going to be a lot harder for you to tuck these wires in, and it's just going to be all over the place. We want to stay as neat as possible. Let's take the ground wire coming off the light bracket, the ground wire coming from the 12-3, the ground wire coming from the 12-2 power source, and the ground wire from the light fixture, and let's connect all those 4 ground wires. And I'm going to be using this 5-lever Wago wire connector. Unfortunately, they don't make the 4, which is a bummer, but we'll go and use 4 of the slots. There are 3 neutral wires. Neutral wire coming from the 12-3, neutral wire coming from the light fixture, and the neutral wire coming from the 12-2 power source. So I'm going to take my 3-lever Wago connector. For the light fixture wire, it's a little flimsy, so you just twist it, make sure that it's nice and stiff, then insert it inside the lever. Also a tip, make sure that when you have insulated wires like this, make sure that there is no exposed wire that's coming off from the bottom of the wire connector, okay? Make sure it's nice and encapsulated in there and the wire is pushed in on the top of the ceiling. All the ground wires and the neutral wires together, all that's left is the hot wire from our 12-2 power source and our hot wire from the light fixture and the switch loop, which is the 2 hot wires from the 12-3 wire that's coming off to the switch. So this is very important. I'm going to take the red from the 12-3 wire coming from the switch and the hot of the light fixture and connect those 2 together. And don't worry, I'm going to go through a full recap of what's going on inside of this J box before we move to the switch J box. That leaves us with only the power source hot wire black and the 12-3 hot wire black, and we're going to connect that together. If you watch my past videos, you know I like to do recaps before I move on to the next J box. I like to focus on the wiring on here and explain to you what's going on. We have a 12-2 wire. That's our power source coming from a 20 amp circuit breaker or a 20 amp power source. That's feeding through our light fixture J box right here. So we have our ground wires right here, the ground wires from the light fixture, the ground wire from our 12-2 wire with ground power source. We have our ground wire from the light fixture bar right here, and we have our ground wire coming from our 12-3 wire coming from the switch, and those are all connected together. Let's go to the neutrals. The neutral from the light fixture, the neutral from the 12-3 from the light switch, and the neutral from the power source is all connected together. And then we have our hot wire from our power source, and our hot wire from our 12-3 is connected. This part is a little tricky. The hot wire from our light fixture and the red hot wire from our 12-3 is connected together. Hopefully that makes sense. You can take a quick snapshot of this if you like, but that's pretty much how simple it is. Hopefully that makes sense. Now that we got that done, let's move on to the light switch J box. You can see here we have our 12-3 wire, which is the neutral, the hot black, the hot red, and the ground. The only thing that we're gonna make a shepherd's hook or a J hook on are these 3 wires right here, the red, the black, and the ground wire. This one I'm gonna explain this to you later on. So what we're gonna be using is the volt claw. I like using this because it has a little loop right here. You can actually tuck the wires with this tool right here, and you can actually, if you have wire nuts, you can wrench it like so. But this is a very helpful tool This one I'll leave in the description down below so you can try this for yourself. Very useful tool. So now we're gonna go and make our shepherd's hook on each one of these. The switch that we'll be using right here is a single pole light switch. Single pole means that it only has 2 hot brass terminals and a ground. Okay. It doesn't really matter which terminals you put, the red or the black. The back of the switch, there are these 2 holes where you can insert the wiring. It's called backstabbing. I don't recommend it. It's just it's dangerous, so I'm just gonna leave it to that. We're gonna go use the terminals and loop it onto here. We're gonna go loop it on a clockwise position. We have the red hot on the bottom, the black hot on the top. It doesn't really matter which way you want to put it. It's all up to you. And now lastly, we're gonna go and hook up the ground wire onto the ground terminal. Now it's totally up to you if you want to wrap electrical tape around here just for extra measures. I do have a plastic J-box, so that's not necessary, and it's not too cluttered with all these wires there anyways. But it's up to you. If you're in a situation where you are going to be using a metal J-box with a bunch of wires in there for extra safety measures, I would recommend you wrap this around with electrical tape. Okay, now we're left with the neutral. What we're gonna do now is just cap that off. Just take one of your Wago wire connectors, cap it, and we're just gonna tuck this inside of the J-box. So I'm just gonna have this here available so that in case in the future you wanna install a smart switch, this will come in handy. Okay, you can easily push that wire in with this. And see, notice how the volt claw is very helpful when it comes to tucking in the wiring. Because without the volt claw, if you were gonna push this with your fingers, it's gonna damage your fingers. Pretty much it, friends, we got that. That's pretty simple on how to wire that. I'm gonna leave this open because it's just a mock-up so you can see all the wirings. This is where all the labels are for the ground and the power source right here. And that's pretty much it. And I almost forgot, make sure that you insert your light bulb. So the power is now back on, and you can see the switch works like a charm. Perfect.